All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this video. You guys could be watching any video right now and you choose mine. Thank you. I appreciate it. So let me just give you some context on what I'm going to be showcasing here. So I'm a freshman at UT Dallas currently. And by the way, sorry if the audio is bad. My dorm audio just isn't the best. And like there's electrical buzz and fans and people are fighting in the other room. So I'm sorry if it doesn't sound the best. But I'm a software engineering student, and I created this thing that I think is pretty cool. And I actually created it for other students like myself, and students that are in high school and other in other majors, not just CS students or anything. But anyway, so I want to go ahead and just show off this. Now I would be showing it on the normal URL, which is studybun.com, but unfortunately I'm running into like some Vercel errors. Which is my hosting platform. So I'll have to be showing it off on localhost currently, but this should give you an idea of the features that StudyBun has, what it's capable of. And yeah, so I mean, basically it's just it's a study buddy. It's an AI study buddy. So it's like Quizlet, but it uses AI to kind of enhance your experience. So the first thing you do is you sign in with Discord over here, and that's how you create your account. That's how you log in and everything. You just use Discord, just make it easier. And you can basically look at any of these study sets right here. These are just this is study sets people create and publish, and you can look at them and you can study through them. But I'm actually going to create one just to show you guys what that looks like, and then we'll study over the one that we make. So I'm just going to call this one AP Macroeconomics. Economics, if I can spell that correctly. And I'll say unit for inflation. Something like that, right? So this is something that you would actually name a study set. So we have things like inflation, deflation, central bank, fiscal policy. These are all like suggestions that the AI is giving us and saying, hey, I see that you have AP Macroeconomics, Unit 4, inflation as your title. Maybe you might be interested in having some of these terms in your set. So we can actually click on any one of these. We can click on inflation. And check this out. It's going to say inflation is a rise in the overall price level of goods and services in an economy. This is autofilling on the spot. So basically what's going on here in behind the scenes is it's calling upon OpenAI's GPT-3, which is a large language model. It's a very fancy AI that has learned a bunch of things by reading literally everything on the internet. And you can ask it to do anything, basically any sort of writing task. So here I have it. I'm asking it to fill in the definitions of these flashcards given the term as well as the context, which is this AP macroeconomics part. Anyway, so yeah, so that's how that works. So we have that. We can also ask for it with bullet points. So we can say summarize the bullet points by clicking this button, and I can click the refresh, and then it'll create bullet points, which is pretty cool. We can also ask it to summarize for a 5th grader, and this can nail just about any topic, guys. It doesn't have to be inflation, it doesn't have to be macroeconomics. This can literally do any topic, and I'll keep on demonstrating that in a second. But here it is summarized for a 5th grader, and if you're reading these, then you'll read that these definitions are actually not that bad. They're not perfect, don't get me wrong, but this is definitely much better than just doing it yourself if efficiency and speed is what you're trying to go for. So I'm going to go back to the summarized bullet points, and if you have a keen eye, you may have noticed that down here it says see thumbnail suggestions. I'm going to click on that in a second, but I want to just showcase that you can actually utilize thumbnails. So I have this image of Ronald Reagan here, and I can upload that, and it's going to cache on our servers. So whenever you come back to the set, it's going to, you can see this image. So you can upload your own images, but if you so choose, you can click on this button, and this is actually going to use the DuckDuckGo Images API to pull up just like the top 10 icons that relate to your topic here. So in this case, it's inflation. So we have, we could do something like this. We could do this one of the dollar bill on fire. This is a fun little graph. Here, I like this one actually. This one's nice and colorful. Actually, I'm gonna use the dollar bill on fire because that's kind of metal. But anyway, so I can click on another one. I can click on central bank, right? And it's gonna do the same exact thing. It's gonna give us bullet points because we still have the bullet points selected up here. If we don't want that, I can just turn that off, and I can just refresh this, and then that will turn off bullet points. But I'm going to keep it. Actually, I'm going to summarize this for a 5th grader because sometimes I need it dumbed down for me. But I'm going to go over here. We got all these options for stuff. I'm going to do this. We can do this one, the central bank icon. And yeah, I'm just trying to think of other stuff. So So one thing that you may have noticed, I'm actually, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do my own term here. Um, I'm gonna say, so what are we on? We're on AP Macroeconomics Unit 4, inflation. So I'm gonna say current top currencies in the world. So I'm gonna say that. So I'm writing, and this is completely custom, okay? So the top currencies in the world are the US dollar, the euro, the Japanese yen, and the British pound. These currencies are widely accepted in international transactions and are used in the majority of global trade. I got my thumbnails over here. This one's nice. It's a nice little international currency thing. I'm gonna do summarized bullet points because I kind of want a bulleted list of these. So let's see if this will work. Yeah, that works just fine. And you can see it actually cuts off at the end. That's because to run this AI, it cost me like a little bit of money, like a fraction of a penny. But whenever you add it up a lot, it can get kind of pricey. And I'm a student. Like, I'm living in my dorm. It's laundry day. I got no sheets on the bed. So I'm still a student. But I think this has a lot of potential. So I have ways that I'm gonna figure out how to fund this for you guys, because I think this is really nice. Like, these features are really nice, and I'm not even at the best part, in my opinion. Okay, we see this AI, you're like, wow, this looks pretty cool. Not even the best part. Okay, so I'm gonna say that this is fine. I like this. And we can do a description as well. I'm not gonna do that because you don't need to, but I'm just gonna click on publish. So I'm gonna publish this set. Normally you would want more terms, of course, but I wanna publish. All right, so we can actually go back and edit it if we so choose, which is very nice. And that will, these edits will work on everything, and we can study this. So this is the study screen. So we can flip through it, like flashcards. It has a nice little animation. We got these little arrows down here. That looks nice. I like it. And we can, flip through. If we're on mobile, we can maximize it, and then we'll get a nice maximize screen, which is pretty nice for all the mobile users out there. But here's the cool thing. This is in my opinion where this has a lot of potential. So over here we have the free response. So this is really interesting. So what this is going to do is it's going to ask you to describe the term in your own words, and then it's going to compare it against the actual definition on your flashcard, as well as what the AI knows about the topic. And then it'll actually grade and see if you did a correct job in describing it. So the thing is that you might be thinking like, well, Quizlet does something similar, right? Google Forms does something similar. What they're doing is they're comparing like the literal text, like the characters, right? So they're checking to see, if you typed in the exact same thing on your definition. So they're kind of going more for memorization. I'm going for understanding. Like, I think understanding something is way more crucial than just memorizing a definition. So if you can spit this back in your own words and the AI is like, yep, it's the same, here as your response as it is on the flashcards, same ideas, then I think that's way more valuable, especially for students and for educators as well. I think it's way more valuable to have a system that can grade students, free responses, instantly, right? This is basically like if there was a grader on the other end, a human looking at it and checking to make sure you got it correct, right? But in this case, we're using an AI. So over here, I'm going to say, write the definition for the term inflation in your own words. So I'm just going to read the back here just to see what I should be saying. Obviously, if you were studying, you would have memorized it by now. So inflation is a sustained increase in the average price level of all final goods and services in an economy. Okay, so I'm just going to say inflation is the increase of the average price of the average prices of goods. I'm going to not say goods. I don't want to, because I want to kind of differentiate it from the definition so you guys can understand what's going on here. So I'm going to say inflation is an increase of the average prices of products and services globally in an economy. All right, so I'm going to click on submit, and hopefully this, okay, so it says, so right here, so it says you got it correct. So it compared this answer against this one over here, and it got it correct. The AI grader graded it, said, yep, this is correct, and that's how that works. So I can click on next. So central bank, right? So I'm going to get this one wrong on purpose. So I'm going to say the central bank is the bank in every city that distributes money to these smaller banks. So that's obviously not what the central bank is. So that says, so right here it says, so it's incorrect, okay? Because I got this one wrong. But I didn't just type gibberish. That's like a lot of the time people test this, they're just gonna type gibberish. I mean, I typed a coherent response, but the AI knows that that's not the correct definition. You know what I mean? In terms of the ideas that it's pulling out of it. We can do one more here. It's the top currencies in the world. The top currencies are the US dollar, Chinese yuan, I don't know how to pronounce that actually, Japanese yen, euro, British pound, and more. I'm just going to say that. We're going to see how that grades it. Okay, yeah, so I got that one correct because I mentioned a lot of the ones that are in here. All right, so let's click on next. And right here, it actually gives us it gives us some feedback on all of our results and everything. It doesn't look the best right now. I'm still improving and everything. But yeah, so that's how the free response works. So that's really nice. And I plan on using this to kind of like refine this AI grader technology and maybe even make resources for teachers and educators, where they can dump in a bunch of student free responses and then the AI grader will, grade it. And it can even provide feedback as well. So a feature I plan on adding in the future is, whenever you're doing this, it's going to say, okay, yeah, your answer is incorrect. But if you wanted to correct it, here's what you should have written instead, right? So it's going to correct you in your own words. That's a feature I plan on adding very soon. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, basically, other than this, like this is really only that this is what's on the results page. It's pretty bare bones right now. There's going to be a match in the future, so you match terms and definitions, right? Basic, not going to use any AI. The test one is going to generate a test based off of your flashcards with like false answer choices and everything. So it's actually going to be a challenging multiple choice. It's going to be a challenging like multiple choice exercise that isn't just a gimme, because if you go on Quizlet and you do it, it just mixes up all your definitions and it's pretty easy to pick out which one is the wrong one just on how you formatted it. You know what I mean? So you're doing more pattern recognition with those kinds of programs, whereas with StudyBun, it's forcing you to learn the subjects on a deeper level than you would be with like Quizlet or something, because you have to be able to talk about these topics in ways and formats and arrangements that you're not going to be just like memorizing on a flashcard, if that makes sense. Sorry if this is kind of rambly. I have a hard time like dictating a lot of these ideas. Anyway, yeah, so the test is going to use the AI to generate a test based off your flashcards, the multiple choice. The discuss, it's going to be a chatbot that is going to be an expert in this specific topic. So I'm gonna have the AI. I'm gonna say like, okay, you're gonna be a chatbot. You're an expert in AP Macroeconomics, Unit 4, inflation, right? It's gonna know what that means. Answer questions, sound intelligent. Be nice, be positive, right? And then you're gonna be able to ask it those kinds of things, and it'll chat back to you. So if you have a question about something, instead of emailing your teacher, you could try to maybe discuss on here. If you have a question as to why you got something wrong, you know what I mean? You could ask it, you could ask this bot, and it's going to be able to tell you what exactly you got wrong. It's very intelligent. But it's not perfect. Like I said, like a lot of the stuff, it's like, kind of hit or miss sometimes, especially it depends on the subject that you're doing. But I want to just go ahead and just give you one more example because I want to show you another pretty powerful thing about it. So if you go to just create over here, I'm going to say Othello by William. Actually, you might have seen Othello in the search results. I'm going to do a new one so that you guys won't think that I'm like trying to like, plan this or whatever. So I'm going to do, let's think of a play. Let's just do Romeo and Juliet, shall we? Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. All right, cool. So here it says, Montague, Capulet, Romeo, Juliet, nurse, all this stuff, right? So I can just go ahead. I'm going to turn on my bullet points because I just kind of prefer bullet points mode. A lot of this stuff I actually just kind of did for me. You know what I mean? Like I did it because I wanted to, because like I wanted these features, you know what I mean? And you can see right here, it's not perfect. Like I had bullet points on and for Montague and it didn't actually do bullet points. So sometimes it can be kind of hit or miss. Again, right here, it's not doing bullet points either. So I would have to manually add that in, right? Kind of annoying, but it's like whatever. It did bullet points for these two. But you can see right here, so it knows about the play. That's the point I'm trying to get across to you guys right now. So it does actually know about the play. Check this out. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to say first act summary. And this can do just about any book, you guys. And I'm going to... Okay, so I had to change it to things that happen in the first act. That was like the thing that landed it, so that's kind of funny. But I totally forgot what I was talking about before. But it looks like we got some weird animes going on here with the with this, so we might have to change that a little bit. But I mean, yeah. So the point is that the point is that this knows things about books. You know what I mean? You can ask it questions about books, and there's going to be a feature in the future where you're actually going to be able to upload PDFs of your personal textbooks, of your books that you're reading in class, and you're going to be able to ask it questions about it. And that discuss thing, you're going to be able to do that on the book. So you're going to be able to upload the PDF of your book to the chatbot and say, basically it's like you're asking it questions. You're asking it to analyze the text. It can write thesis statements. It can, pull out, character arcs, things like that, right? So this is going to be really valuable. But yeah, I just wanted to show this off to you guys because I think it's a pretty cool project. I'm going to be using it to study. I know that my friends and stuff are going to be using it to study as well. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy the video, seriously. And if you guys want to be a tester for it, just let me know. Send me an email or hit up my Discord or something. I need testers for this. And yeah, I mean, I don't know how I'm going to pay for it, how I'm going to fund it. I'll figure some way out. Some of this stuff might have to be upgraded to premium features, but I do want to give this out away for free to as many people as I can. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, guys. Peace out.